So we also look at the difference between conflict and violence. Then we looked at the origin of conflict, where we looked at the conflict is as a result of an unresolved crisis, unresolved conflict, problems, and unmet needs. So we also have like we looked at the types of conflict, where we looked at the intrapersonal conflict, which is a conflict within oneself. And then we also look at interpersonal conflict, where it's a conflict between two individuals. Then we look at intra group conflict, a conflict within the same group, within one group. So the conflict that occurs within members of the same group. Then we look at intergroup conflict. This is where maybe people form camps or groups within an organization. So this divides maybe because the conflict between two individuals, then they are getting backups. This one says I am supporting A, this one says I am supporting B. So this one causes like intergroup conflict. And it can also be a conflict within different groups of different organizations. For instance, I remember there were these gang groups in Juba that used to be like D Black versus Dikeri Melo. So these are groups, these are intergroups. So it can also be a conflict between communities. So this can be intergroup conflict. It can also be called intercommunal conflict. So where we look at both positive and negative significant where we say it can lead to clarification, it can lead the negative part where it also causes of conflict or the sources of conflict as one of the sources that can source of the or the causes of that conflict can be caused due to unequal, can also be caused by information, of the inaccurate information or misinformation or the poor communication that can also lead to like a false story that can like ignite a conflict that can escalate to relationship, like the relationship can also lead to, and then stereotypes, it can also lead to this conflict. We looked at due to interest. There are people who maybe they wanted what wanted, so the dispute can lead to this. So we also look at the values, the ideological differences, the conflicting of beliefs and system, where maybe there is the, uh, the the leader of a group favors maybe favors another group, so it can lead to. So we looked at the stages of conflict. We have these are from pre-conflict to post-conflict, where we looked at agreements and monitoring and evaluation. So enforcement. So these are stages that we look at. Then we also summarize all those the stages of conflict into five, where we look at the lantern, where the parties, where the conflict is not yet seen. We also look at passive state until after the conflict. We also look at approaches to the conflict, where we look at as well the approach. We look at which is the accommodation, where yes create more position to accommodate they include. We looked at also the problem solving skills. So you ability to find solutions to end the army is also to that group or get equal. We looked that is one of the approach. Then we looked at number of factors that can be identified as a we also got so people always know they feel that there is something they look at, and you always build us the problem to approach, then they way
Wani, could you please change to Zain? You try to change to Zain. We can give you a few minutes. Maybe let's give you 8 minutes to try to change to Zain. The
taking an action, they need to know, they need to weigh to manage. Then we also looked at the sources of power.
Wani, can you hear me? Okay, guys, we are facing real internet challenges, and we hope that this should be sorted shortly. We are trying for a change of internet for the trainer so that we can move on to the next session. We can move on to another network so that the session goes on uninterrupted. All of us that are aware of the challenges that comes with the use of internet from these telecommunication networks, it entirely depends on where a user is at a particular time. Otherwise, it can be very, very challenging. But he is using MTN and he's trying to change to Zain, and then we see how it works. You know, it can be very frustrating, but thank you so much for your patience, and we hope that Zain helps where he is at the moment. Thank you so much. So let us just give him some 6 minutes for the change of network, and I believe that after that the session can go on uninterrupted. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can just use this 6 minutes for a break. If you need to grab some water, you can do that.